have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world when you hit that play button. So glad you have found the Genesis Frequency podcast with me. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina, coming at you with another episode here to help you make that quantum leap in your life, in your business, personal, professional, whatever it is you're working on. Make that quantum leap from where you are now to where you want to be to help you get unstuck and really move the needle, as I said in the intro. So welcome in. We're going to dive into some of the things I have coming up that would be of tremendous benefit to you as an individual, to you as a business owner, to you as a member of the corporate team, whether it be the CEO or the consumer facing individual. All of these events, I like to call them, coming up would be of great benefit to so many of you out there. So I invite you to reach out and talk to me about anything that you hear on this show at any time ever, because this is what I do. I do personal development, professional development, leadership development, spiritual development, if that's the direction that you want to go. And it's all to just help you overcome the things in your life that have kept you stuck up until this point, whatever they may be. I know nobody wants another book. Nobody really wants another program. There's some great stuff out there. But if you are not moving the needle, if you have some big dreams, some outrageous goals for your company, for you, yourself personally, for your ministry, for your small business as an entrepreneur, and you get so far and then you feel like you take 2 steps forward and then you take 3 steps back. We need to talk. Stephen at successocean.com is my email. That's Stephen with a PH. And successappointment.com is the URL to get to my calendar. Successappointment.com. Success appointment, all one word. So what's coming up? What do we got coming up? Well, we got 3 things. The last couple shows I put a pretty strong call to reach out and have a conversation with me. And I think everybody was waiting for the back to school time. So then everything kind of just blew up, exploded, and that kind of thing. But we do have 3 programs coming up, 3 opportunities to work in depth on you. And what kind of problems are you experiencing in your life? Because that's what we addressed. It's not the so much the program; it's the benefits the program brings to you. The work that I do, you'll find so many benefits and solutions to problems. Uh, Improving your communication skills if you are a business owner, maybe a C-suite executive or a decision maker in your organization. We can help you improve employee communication, accomplish more, just overall accomplishing goals, accomplishing corporate goals, accomplishing personal goals. I always work with win-win goals with individuals, especially when we're working in a company. Win-win goals meaning that there would be a win for the organization, but a win for the participant, the individual personally. We got to have that. We got to tie them together so there's an incentive to put in the work to make the transformation, to adapt to the change, do what's necessary in order to grow and bring benefit both to the individual and the company. So, and another thing that does is the individual, and let's look at this through the lens of the decision maker or the business owner. People are going to feel good about the company when they see that you're investing in them, and they'll put more into it as well. If you want to improve the company attitude, the company culture, what does your culture look like? Working with a company now locally, man, great company, great people, but the culture, the atmosphere, the energy, and it's perceived by the public because we can see perceived culture, can't we, so often when we just do a little research on social media, what's being said about that company. So many cases, an overhaul is needed. Where does that start? Remember, I'm a cause and effect guy. We got to go back to cause, and we can work on shifting paradigms, purging old paradigms, installing a new culture. We can work on, improving the bottom line, improving profit, increasing sales, reducing overtime, reducing errors, getting organized, increasing productivity, increasing creativity, be able to solve those problems before they fester into something else, reduce stress, build teams, get back on purpose, get back to an effective and efficient way of using teams, modify behavior, improve behavior. That's the reason I am and have been so successful in this, because we make a change at the level of behavior. And that's where change has to happen. You can't just motivate through fear. That doesn't work anymore. It never really did. It never provided lasting, effective, and efficient change in an organization. We want to change at the level of behavior, and there's a certain way to go about doing this. There's a certain way to develop new habits. These are all things I do with the work that I do. We identify goals. We identify and prioritize those goals and those tasks, those activities that take us in that direction. So we improve focus. We help you enhance the self-image of either yourself or those within your organization. So remember, this is all for individuals, for small businesses, for corporations, and for ministries. And I can't stress enough the value of this. Even if you just want to, hey, reach out and say, this sounds so good. I want to work on re-engineering myself, and hopefully I can get you into my organization as well. But come on board, participate in some of these. The first thing I have to do, in fact, is they're all coming up all at once. So it's not first, second, third. It's just reach out. Let's talk about them. The first one is effective personal productivity. This is about improving performance, productivity, and priority management and communication skills. Touch on all of that. Let's talk about that for a minute, because, we used to call it just time management. And that's another way to look at this. But we really have to manage our priorities. We have to learn to manage productive activities and really take a look at non-productive activity, because that's really what robs us of our time during the day. We all have the same amount of time, and here you have one person just knocking out goal after goal after goal, or achieving. And then you have this other one over here just spinning their wheels. Looks like they're busy all the time, but nothing's getting done. So we're going to take a look at this. We're going to start off our effective personal productivity program with a goals workshop to really identify in every area of our lives what we want personally and what we want professionally. Then we're going to look at the nature of productivity, and we're going to move through that. Key resources for peak performance, and attitudes toward planning and goal setting, and towards other people, and attitudes toward external circumstances, and practices, procedures will help us to focus on high payoff activities and productive activities. So we got to really take a look at this, especially in society now and in life in general now when we're pulled in so many directions. I remember back a long time ago when I went through effective personal productivity for myself, number one, to evaluate it, and number two, to help me with the distractions in my life because I used to be one of those that I'm focused, I'm on a project, I'm on a task, and then what would happen is, you get that text or that email, and I think you know what I'm talking about, and then boom, that rabbit hole opens up, right? You go to open that email, even though you set that a certain time, I'm going to do that later, but you open it up and you click on something, right? And this looks like it might need my attention now. Notice we're being reactive instead of responding appropriately at the appropriate time. So we go and we click that open, and then as we're going over there, there's another shiny object or another window opens with something very interesting that the web or this, whoever our internet service provider is has posted. And then we go, oh, what's that all about? Right? And then it's 2 hours later. What was I doing? Right? So we have to do this. I'm telling you, this is so, so valuable. The the amount of time that is spent on non-productive activity, I could give you statistics after statistics that would just boggle your mind. I can show you how through just this program, effective personal productivity and identifying just 15 minutes a day of non-productive time, how that adds up to several, many, depending on the employees, 40-hour work weeks. That's just time that's just out the window. Time you're paying for. You're paying for it either personally with lost time or as an organization. You're paying a wage to the individual and there's a lot of non-productive activity going on. So we look at all those and we get everybody laser focused on productive activity and managing their time efficiently through effective priority management. So this is something you really might want to have a conversation with me about. So important. And we'll talk about teams. We'll talk about effective communication and work with lessons and exercises within programs in order to apply it to the individual's areas of responsibility. Everything is like that. Everything is, has to be, the material has to be, before you move on, it has to be learned in the most effective and efficient way and applied. So, by listening to the show, maybe not if you're brand new, but I'm all about application and action. So everything that we take an individual through, there's an application to make in their personal life and in their professional life specific to their activity. And there's action steps to take. And there's a lot of repetition because that's how we have retention of the material. So it's all built in. Love to talk to you about that more. But effective personal productivity is great for priority management, goal setting, being laser focused, improving communication skills, performance, and productivity of the entire team. We talk about teamwork a lot in there as well. So give me a ring or, find me on social media. I don't really put that out there very much, but some of you have. If you want to go to my private Facebook page, I mean, I'm all over Facebook. Stephen J. Kosmina, Kosmyna. Friend me there. You can also find the Genesis Frequency, a separate page for that. You can find Stephen J. Kosmyna, PhD, Elite Level Mindset um, Development. There's a page on that. But just my personal page is fine. Reach out, send me a note. We also have a page for the company, Success Ocean Inner Circle. And I've expanded that from just clients to anybody that is really dedicating themselves to personal and professional development, leadership development, spiritual development. So that's Success Ocean Inner Circle. there's a couple questions to answer there, but if you're listening to this show, the questions have already been answered, and you can just put uh, in any of the questions, just put, hey, listen to the podcast or something like that, and then I'll approve it and get you right in Success Ocean Inner Circle. So you might want to do that or find me on LinkedIn, Stephen J. Kuzmina, or Success Ocean on LinkedIn. Connect with me, reach out. Let's do this. Let's have more and more conversations. Love having those with people. The next one we have coming up is effective personal leadership. This is one of the flagship. I have two really flagship things that I take individuals for. Now, remember, with effective personal productivity and effective personal leadership, I am not doing lecture. I am not the sage on the stage, so to speak. I am the guide from the side. So the material speaks for itself, and you really need to immerse yourself in it to experience it. So you're not going to have me lecturing week in and week out. That's not how these are set up. But effective personal leadership, man, it is strong, it is powerful, it is used all over the world. We have this in over 100 countries right now, in about 35 different languages. So if you are more comfortable with another language, with a click of a button, we can do it that way. But in effective personal leadership, we're going to talk about kick off with our goals and really what personal leadership means. We're going to look at your infinite potential, your potential for personal leadership, really believing believing in your full potential. In this show, on this show, I talk about belief so much, so we're going to make sure that your belief is rooted and grounded in the right thoughts, and where you need to be rooted and grounded, for lack of a better word right here. And we want to help you discover your untapped potential, your opportunity for growth, and the courage that's needed to to move into personal leadership. Even if you're not leading a team of other people or leading anybody for that matter, we're talking about the way that you lead your own life. So very important to develop that focus on personal leadership and the rewards that you'll find when you learn the skills. These are all certificate programs, by the way. So if you are looking or in line for that promotion, definitely you have a certificate on successful completion of any of these that you can take in and say, hey, listen, I went through this on my own. I really suggest you move this in-house and do it with everybody. But I did this thing. And so it's something to be proud of. We make a big deal out of graduation all over the world. And so we continue to move through self-knowledge, the source really of personal leadership, understanding our past, leading with emotional intelligence, breaking out of conditioned existence, which is really all the paradigms I talk about, developing that strong self-image, becoming an authentic leader. And then we talk about some real essentials for success and personal leadership, personal responsibility, purpose, just your purpose. What is your purpose? And getting you on purpose. Uh, talking about passion, talking about positive expect, positive expectancy, talking about persistence and the importance of persistence. So all of these things are covered in effective personal leadership. So that's a little bit longer program. Usually effective personal productivity we do over 6 to 8 weeks. Effective personal leadership is a 12 lesson or 12-week program. And sometimes when I speak with an individual, we make the decision to do one lesson every 2 weeks. So depending on your schedule, we can be adaptive to make it work for you. So yeah, I would encourage you to just spend a whole year with me. Really, we can start off with effective personal productivity, get the time management thing down, and really nail that so that you can really be focused and well aware of productive and non-productive activities. So I would really encourage you to start with that and then move right into effective personal leadership. And what's nice about that is if you do effective personal productivity first, then we can have you as you get excited, you graduate, you can recommend it to other people, maybe even within your organization, and then you can be their mentor because we have this unique triangle of agreement, and we look for mentors who can mentor other people as they come through the program. And you can do that as you're going through effective personal leadership. So it's a beautiful way to do this, beautiful way to then step into living a balanced life. We talk about our total person concept, and I've done some shows on that. You can just go to the website, thegenesisfrequency.com, and do the keyword search and find some episodes on the total person, the total leader, and we talk even more about communication because that is so important moving forward. I had a hospital stay, and they are going to hear all about internal communication. So, really good stuff. And then the third program, I'm not going to go into detail. I like to talk to you one on one about it, as I am doing. I'm excited about this because it hasn't been done in a while. Is thinking into results with spiritual integration. So, if you want to take a deep dive into everything that makes you tick. They're taking this out and doing it again. And Thinking into Results is a program that was written by Sandy Gallagher along with Bob Proctor. Through the magic of technology, the late Bob Proctor will be your instructor along with myself and along with Sandy Gallagher and along with Tanae K. Kismina, and we dive into it. We dive into the goals. We dive deep into setting those worthy ideals. We talk about the knowing doing gap, your infinite mind, the secret genie, tapping into your true potential. We talk about staying in charge no matter what is happening in the world around us. We look at self image. We look at how to overcome fear. We look at the power of praxis. I've talked about that a little bit. Integration of belief with behavior. We'll talk and spend a lot of time on attitude and really developing yourself into that leader and becoming a person of increase, magnifying your mind through masterminds. Just a great, all encompassing program. Again, you can take all three of these and spend a year with me. And it's, it's not outrageous. You look at what I mentioned in the last show. What does it cost me to not do anything, to stay stuck, to live with longing and discontent for the rest of my life because I let fear trap me and hold me back from accomplishing all that I knew was mine to do, all that I am passionate about, but just did not have the courage to enter that cave where I know my dreams and goals are to be realized. So that's what this is all about. I know it sounds like this episode has been a big commercial, so be it. But I wanted to make you aware. So many times I talk to people and I say, "Hey, I just wrapped up, or I'm wrapping up TIR, or I'm wrapping up EP, Effective Personal Leadership," and it's like, "Oh man, I didn't know you were running one of those again." So that's the reason for this. Reach out. Let's have a conversation. We've gone through everything I can cover in the amount of time I set aside for this show. We've already covered that. So let's talk about it more. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about the solutions I can bring to you personally and professionally. Let's talk about the solutions that I can help you find within your own organization, within your own ministry. And we run the gamut, and I'm very good at what I do. Very successful at all of this. So reach out to me, Stephen at successocean.com, Stephen with a PH, or get on the calendar, successappointment.com. Successappointment.com. Get you on my calendar. We'll talk about all this and get you on track right now. Get a head start next year and get you moving in the direction to all that you hope to experience in your life. We'll move it into your field of experience, guaranteed. You just have to be willing and able. Put in the time, put in the work, we'll get her done. That's going to do it. That's going to do it for this episode of the Genesis Frequency Podcast. You've been listening to me, Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmina, and I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day. God bless you.